Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, August 16th, and today is the first day of the Scallywagathon. Just as a refresher, I'm going to remind you guys of my TBR. So I chose to do the path starting with 1. Challenge 1 is Captain's Cabin. Read a book from the most popular author on your TBR. For this one, I'm going to be reading Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. And then my path takes me to challenge number 7, which is Precious Cargo, or read a middle grade. And for that, I'm going to be reading The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane by Kate O'Shaughnessy. And then my path takes me to a detour, and I'm going to be doing challenge A. And challenge A is Watch the Shore. Read a book that was published 3+ years ago. For this one, I'm going to be reading Eclipse by Stephanie Meyer. And I'm going to be finishing off with challenge number 9, which is Black Sails. Read a book with a black cover. And for this one, I'm going to be reading No Exit by Taylor Adams. And I think technically you're kind of supposed to go in order along the path, but I'm a rebel, so I'm going to start with challenge number 7, read a middle grade. Today, I'm going to try and read the entirety of The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane by Kate O'Shaughnessy. And just a quick summary to remind you what this one is about. This story is a middle grade following Maybelle Lane. Maybelle Lane is a girl who collects sounds, and one of the sounds she has in her collection is a voicemail of her father laughing on the phone, but she has never grown up with her father. She has never known him, but she does recognize his voice because of this voicemail. So when she hears him one day on the radio, she decides to go and find him and try to make him a part of her life. So this sounds right up my alley. I love a good hard-hitting middle grade. I hope this one will make me cry. I hope it will make me smile and laugh, and I hope I will fall in love with Maybelle Lane. So that is the plan for today. I'm going to try and tackle this one, and I will take you guys along with me, and we'll see if I can do it. Over halfway through The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane at this point, and I am really enjoying it. So this story kind of starts out with Maybelle Lane. She hears her father's voice on the radio, as I mentioned in the previous clip. His radio station is doing a singing competition, and so she calls the station and signs up for the singing competition, even though she doesn't have permission to go or anything. But her mother is actually going on a trip for 3 weeks. She has been hired to sing on a cruise ship, so she's out of town, and Maybelle's neighbor, Mrs. Boggs, who is the teacher at her school, is the one who ends up watching her while her mom is away. At first, she's just going to sneak off to Nashville by herself. She goes to the bus station to buy a bus ticket to Nashville, but while she is there, her money gets stolen, and so when she comes home, she actually comes clean to Mrs. Boggs and is really worried about being punished. But then Mrs. Boggs actually decides to take Maybelle as a little road trip, and they get permission from her mom. Maybelle doesn't tell her the whole truth, but she does tell her that they're going to this singing competition, and so her and Mrs. Boggs set off in Mrs. Boggs' RV on this road trip to Nashville, and they actually end up having a stowaway. Maybelle's neighbor Tommy is stowed away in the bathroom. They find him, and he is kind of a part of this group of kids who bullies Maybelle at school, but Tommy is always kind of been the one that just stays silent. He doesn't really participate in the bullying, and he kind of tries to help Maybelle when he can. Mrs. Boggs allows him to stay because Mrs. Boggs kind of has a soft spot for him as well, and sees that while he does hang out with these boys that are bad news, he himself really isn't. He's just hanging with the wrong crowd, and I think he has a really troubled home life as well, so Mrs. Boggs kind of sees this as a opportunity for him to have a break from his, I think, pretty abusive home life. And while Maybelle kind of holds some resentment against him, Miss Boggs is like, really open your heart to him, just see how he is, and so I think he and Maybelle will kind of start to become friends as well. I am really liking it so far. I can't help but compare any middle grade I read to those by Ashley Herring Blake because they are just my favorites, and this one definitely has a similar tone to it. It's written a little bit younger. I just feel like Ashley Herring Blake's middle grades are so good because they are very universally appealing, and I think this one is, but every once in a while it does feel a little bit young, but not necessarily so bad that it takes me out of the story. I definitely am really enjoying it. I think if I was to rate it right now, I would probably give it 4 stars. I definitely think it has the potential still to be a 5-star read if it does end up making me cry and being really emotional in the end. I definitely really like Mrs. Boggs as a character. She is just great. She's kind of like a very strict, structured teacher, but she, I think, really cares for these kids and wants to help them out, which I just love in an adult. Like, I think she's just really great. Mabel is really funny as well. She definitely feels like an 11-year-old. Her voice feels like an 11-year-old's voice, but she's such an interesting and sweet character, and I really want to see her succeed. I also really am enjoying Tommy's character. I think he's a really good addition to this story. I really like learning more about him as well, and I hope that he definitely is turning out to be a sweetheart. He really like learns from this road trip and his friendship with Mabel and kind of gets out of his bad friendship crowd when they get back. I don't really know, but he's great as well. And I really like the road trip style of this book. It's really fun. It's really fun, and they are just getting into all kinds of adventures, and I am excited to finish this one up and see where it goes. And I do hope that it ends up being a 5-star because like I said, I do think it has the potential to be so. I just finished The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane, and it was really good. Even up till the end, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to rate it, but I think I am just gonna go with a 5-star because I really did enjoy it. It really touched me. I didn't sob, but I definitely got a little misty-eyed, especially at the end. It has a really good ending. It's a little bit bittersweet, but I think it's very true to real life, and it also leaves you feeling really hopeful and happy for Maybelle's. So I really did enjoy it, and I do think it's a 5-star read. I'm very glad to have read it. And so that is the first challenge ticked off my list. I have finished challenge number 7, Precious Cargo, to read a middle grade, and it is only 12:30. So right now I'm going to go eat something for lunch, I think, and then dive into another book. I am doing 2 readathons this week, so I am participating in the Indian readathon as well as the Scallywagathon, so I might go and read some books for the Indian readathon for the rest of the day because that vlog is going to be going up first, and so that is my plan, and I will keep you guys updated. Hello, I got sunburned today, so I am very red. I apologize. So today is Thursday, and in the beginning of the week, I was kind of focusing on reading books for the Indian readathon, which is taking place concurrently with the Scallywagathon, but now I'm going to focus on reading Scallywagathon books, and I know that I mentioned in my TBR video that for, I think it was like one of the detours, my challenge to read a book that was published 3+ years ago, I was going to read Eclipse, but I don't think I'm going to have time to read that one before the end of the week. And I was in the middle of The Selection by Kiera Cass when I started this vlog and when I started the readathon. And so I think I'm going to count this book for that challenge. And I did just finish this one. I gave it 4 stars. I am doing a dedicated Selection series reading vlog because I'm reading the series for the first time. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts, definitely check that out, but I did really like this. It was very fun, very addicting, very fast. Definitely am rooting for some of the characters and some of the pairings, and so I'm excited to continue with this series. But since I was reading this anyway and it fit the challenge, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and count this one for that challenge just to make my life a little bit easier. So we are 2 challenges down. I still am planning to read Crown of Midnight and No Exit, and so I have like only 3 days to read those. I don't know if I'll finish, but we will try our best. And yeah, that is my only little update for tonight, and I will hopefully vlog some more the rest of the week. I am working all weekend, so we might have a lot of montages. I'm not very good at filming on days that I work, but I will try. And roll B-roll. Hello friends, today is Monday and the Scallywagathon, what the fuck? And the Scallywagathon is over, but I have not finished reading my last book, so I think I'm gonna finish that and then wrap the vlog up once I'm done with that book, even though I won't technically have completed all the challenges within the week, but that's okay, whatever. This is just for fun. But I did want to update you on what I have been doing. So I've been working a lot these past couple days, as you could probably tell from the B-roll clips, but I did manage to finish No Exit by Taylor Adams. So I was reading this book for the challenge of reading a book with a black on the cover or a black cover or something like that. So I did end up finishing this one and I really loved this. This was so good. So this is a thriller. It's almost kind of maybe horror, and it's about our main character Darby, who is trying to drive home for Christmas break, but she gets stuck and snowed in at this rest stop along with a number of other people. I think there's like 4 or 5 other people there. When she goes outside to try and get cell service and she's walking back into the rest stop, she actually sees a cage with a child in it in the back of somebody's van. And so she has to figure out which of her companions has this child in a crate and why, and how to save this child before the clock runs out and the plows come through and everybody leaves. This book kept me on the edge of my seat the entire time. It was so thrilling. My heart was racing. There definitely was a couple times where I like guessed the twist a couple pages before it happened, so it wasn't quite as shocking, but it definitely had some good twists in it. This is definitely the kind of thing I'm looking for when I want to read a mystery thriller. I like crime kind of things more so than I like domestic thrillers, so this really was right up my alley. The only thing I didn't love was there was like a lot of gore in it, which kind of grossed me out if we're being honest, and I didn't like that I could guess some of the twists. I think maybe it could have been a little bit more subtle, but I really enjoyed this. I really loved it. I definitely would recommend this. It's one of the best thrillers I've read, and I think I'm going to end up giving it 4.5 stars. And then I am also halfway through Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This is the book that I'm reading for the challenge to read a book by the most popular author on your TBR. I think Sarah J. Maas fits that bill, so I'm reading this one. This is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, which is about Selena Sardathian, who is an assassin, and she gets hired by the king to be his personal assassin, even though she has some moral quandaries about that because she's more on the side against the king than with the king, but she has to work for him in order to get her freedom because she was in jail. In this second book, she actually has now started her position as the king's assassin, and she is kind of being a little bit rebellious and not actually killing the people that the king wants her to kill. She's like staging their deaths. I think she's gonna kind of start helping with the rebellion against the king. She's towing the line here. Her romance with Kale is also heating up, which I am a fan of, although I know from things I've seen floating around the internet that Kale does something awful in this book that makes people not like him, so not looking forward to that, but maybe everyone's dramatic and it's not as bad. Also, Dorian is getting a lot better in this book. I didn't really like him a lot in the first book. I thought he was very bland, but in this book, it's starting to shake some things up. So there used to be magic in this world, but there's not anymore. But Dorian like discovers he can do magic in this book, and so his character is getting spiced up a little bit, and I'm here for that. I think that's super interesting. Honestly, I think Dorian and Nehemia should get together right now. I don't know if that's a thing that anybody else thinks in the world, but that's the vibes I'm getting like right now, or at least they should become friends in some capacity. I don't know. Definitely enjoying this one so far. I think I'm enjoying this one more than the first one. There's less stupid shit so far. I definitely will finish this one in the next day or two, so I think I'm going to finish this one before I totally wrap up this vlog. Hope you guys are cool with that, but that's what we're gonna do. So I will update you when I am a little bit farther through and maybe film some more b-roll if you think that's interesting. I don't know, I'm just rambling. Goodbye. Okay, I've now finished my final book for the readathon, Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I kind of want to give this book 5 stars. Who am I? Like, what the heck? So the first Throne of Glass book I didn't really love. I think I gave it 3 stars. I had a lot of issues with it, but this one was like surprisingly a lot better. I was totally invested the whole time. Selena was way less annoying in this one. The twist at the end was crazy, and I know I talked in the previous clip about like I am a Kale fan. I really like him, and I knew that he did something bad in this book that like made people not like him. Honestly, wasn't really that bad. I kind of thought Selena overreacted a little bit. I mean, like, it sucks what happened obviously, but I don't really think Kale played that big of a part in it. I think Selena overreacted and blaming him a little bit, especially when she got the whole picture and the whole truth, but to each their own. tone, I guess. Dorian was definitely more interesting in this book. I liked him a lot better, and I really liked how the world was expanded on and built. The first book was so similar to the Hunger Games, but this one really like came into its own and is purely like fantasy now. And that's what it feels like. There's like monsters and magic, quests, and like exciting things going on, political maneuverings going on. I really liked this one, and that ending was wild. I did not predict the twist at the end, and now I just really want to pick up the next one. I don't know if I'm actually, I have to give this 5 stars. Like, this was so good. I don't have any complaints about it. Why was it so good? I'm kind of mad that it was so good. I just could not stop reading it, and I just needed to know what happened the whole time. So I think I'm gonna give this one 5 stars. That is my Scallywagathon completed. I did manage to complete all 4 challenges and get to the treasure, even though I did a daily, but we're not talking about that now. So just as a recap, for the first challenge, which was to read a book by the most popular author on your TBR, like I said, that was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. Completed that challenge, gave that one 5 stars. The next challenge was Precious Cargo, to read a middle grade. For that one, I read The Lonely Heart of Maybelle Lane by Kate O'Shaughnessy. I gave this one 5 stars as well. Absolutely loved this. Super cute, super emotional, super good. I just love a good hard-hitting middle grade. So happy I read this one. And then the next challenge was to read a book that was published more than 3 years ago. For that, I read The Selection by Kira Cass. This I gave 4 stars, and I will be talking more about this in my reading vlog that should be up on Friday, hopefully. Last but not least, my final challenge was to read a book with a black cover, and for that I read No Exit by Taylor Adams. This was a really fast-paced, awesome thriller. I loved this one. I'm giving this one 4.5 stars. Thought it was so good. So that is going to be it for my Scallywagathon reading vlog. I had a very successful reading week, apparently. The lowest rated book I read was 4 stars. That's pretty awesome. So I had a very high average rating, very happy about that. This was such a fun readathon to participate in, and I hope you enjoyed my vlog. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. All relevant links will be in the description down below, including the hosts and on information about the readathon. So definitely go and check all that stuff out, and thank you again for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.